Hello, everyone. I do believe I am live, YouTube and Facebook. So I'm using this software, so I'm not really quite sure. But I'm just going to start talking. Hi. Hey, everybody. I'm Candace Shalou. I am the spiritual director at Jubilee Circle here in Columbia, South Carolina, and I am also the originator and creator of a little thing called the Motley Mystic, which is a blog that I have been doing, trying to give people some spiritual tips and tools that they can use to grow their spirituality, to deepen their connection to spirit and to the holy. And today I want to talk a little bit about this pretty severe sugar crash that I encountered yesterday. Now, this is not the kind of a sugar crash that you get from eating too much candy. I mean, I've given up sugar because I'm on this keto diet. And I tried to have a cookie. I cheated while we were on vacation, and I had this chocolate chip cookie. Oh, sugar. I can't do sugar anymore. So it wasn't that kind of a sugar crash. Haven't had one of those in a very long time. So actually what I had was sort of this metaphysical sugar crash. You see, I've been listening almost daily to this teacher who talks about the same concepts as Course in Miracles and other metaphysical teachers talk about, like Michael Singer or Eckhart Tolle or Wayne Dyer. And this guy's teaching method, it's really fantastic in that you don't have to know those names or any of those philosophies to really understand what he's saying or the kind of transformation that he is offering. I mean, he really is that good. So this crash came yesterday after I spent a week on vacation, not listening to this guy. Instead, I spent time in the Outer Banks with my partner, Beth, and her son. And we just spent time being. I mean, we ate too much, we slept too little, shopped too much, cared really not about anything else other than just soaking up the sun, seeing the sights, and especially the wild horses out on Kerala, I think they, it's amazing. The locals never say things the way you think they do. But when I got home, I resumed my habit. I went back to watching and listening to this incredible teacher. And yesterday I crashed. It's one of the reasons why you didn't see me here doing a Motley Mystic Monday moment. It's just now a Motley Mystic moment on a Tuesday. But I didn't have it in me. I didn't have inspiration. I didn't know what to say. But one of the exercises, so I just didn't. I just didn't do anything yesterday because I couldn't figure out what inspired me. But one of the exercises that this teacher talks about all the time is to reminisce, is to go into the future and talk about, you remember that time, like that time when I made my first $1,000,000 and then I hired an accountant so I never have to look at money again. I mean, it's that kind of thing where I remember the first time, you remember that time when I wrote that bestseller. And I get this exercise. I enjoy it a lot because it really is, it's about creating a feeling in your body that you might not have otherwise, like a feeling of being worthy of having money or a feeling of having enough security or whatever else you might think is lacking in your life at this moment. So unless you can feel those things and imagine them, I mean, you really can't bring them into your reality. I fully believe that that is true. You have to create this feeling in your body before you can create the reality of the thing. But the crash came, however, because it struck me that everybody in the Facebook group and all of the groups that this guy assembles, when they do this kind of I remember exercise, they always talk about how they come to some manner of fame and fortune. They always remember when their book became a bestseller. They always remember when that art piece sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, or when they got their first gallery showing, or the first time they filled a stadium full of fans for their performance. I mean, all great dreams. Those are all beautiful dreams, and I'm not putting down anybody's ability to dream big. That's a beautiful thing. It just seemed odd to me, I guess, to think of every person as somehow dreaming about being big and famous or influential or rich. I mean, is that true? When we're left to our own devices and we're just sitting around thinking about the future, is that really what we think about? Fame and fortune, seeing our name in lights? Can we all become rich and famous? Who's going to be in the audience if we're all rich and famous at some point? And this, of course, it could just be my own pattern of self-sabotage, just seeping out in protest of all this make it big one day nonsense. And that has been in my life, a recurring pattern. It's that self-saboteur who seeks to keep me playing small, who says, you know what, it's just better to fly under the radar your whole life. You don't need fame and fortune and the whole world appreciating you. Just gather up a small spiritual community where you are, write a book that doesn't draw too much attention and absolutely no ongoing royalties whatsoever. And by all means, just keep working that full-time job that you kind of enjoy, but it leaves you little time to do the things that really call to you. Well, as I meditated this morning, though, I realized, what if this life right here, right now, the one that I have right now, is God's dream for me? I mean, what if being a spiritual director of a small local spiritual community, being a small-time author and teacher, or sometime musician and loving partner, what if that is my life's calling? What if I'm not called to be a big shot author or a famous teacher or spiritual leader? Can I still love what's right here, right now? And I burst into tears as these thoughts came rushing, because what was behind them was this deep, yawning, infinite sense of gratitude. The life I already have at this moment, it's already beyond the wildest dreams of my childhood. It is filled with amazing people who love and support me. It includes doing the work that I love, work that combines all of my skills in writing and speaking, teaching, making music. Life in this moment includes a deep and beautiful, loving relationship, a good level of financial security, and the kind of stability that I could only fantasize about as a kid growing up in the housing projects, eating government cheese. What if, I said to myself, saboteur, what if you're not working against me but for me? What if you are bringing me some gifts that I have mistaken for things that undermine me? What if, my dear self-saboteur, you have been my friend all along, because it's only been you that has been able to help me see that what I have in this moment has always been enough. What if, my little self-sabotaging friend, I owe you a debt of gratitude as well? You know, friends, my realization this morning was this: I have enough. I have more than enough. I am enough. I am more than enough. Life is enough for me, more than enough for me, right this very second. I don't have to play a game where I imagine a better future. I mean, that's a nice enough exercise, but no one is promised any future at all, and it never really arrives anyway. It's always now. So what if we can appreciate now, all the time? What if we can radically accept what we have right now? And even if we believe it is not enough, and our ego and the world concur and tell us that we should expect more, well, what if we can radically accept everything in our lives right now, even if what is here right now is painful? The pain that we feel, that is simply an old pattern seeking to emerge and to be seen, to be allowed space, to be loved and healed and then released. It was painful this morning to sit with my self-saboteur. We don't like each other very much. We never have. I blame her for all my problems, and she's indignant about how I don't appreciate how she's kept us small and safe all these years. But sitting with that pain, being with it, I was able to release it. And I was able to begin to love that little self-saboteur and see that all it wants is to be seen, to be loved, and be allowed to exist in my body. She's welcome here. She needs loving and healing too. She's frightened to play big, even though paradoxically, she yearns to be seen. She yearns to be loved and respected. And I'm grateful that she was able to share her vulnerability with me this morning, because now I can be radically grateful for that pattern that I've used to undermine my own dreams over the years. I can see and appreciate that part of me now. And in radically accepting it, I can move now to heal it and release it. When it's unseen, I can't do that. Being radically grateful for what is in our lives right now doesn't mean we don't or we shouldn't want more or better for ourselves. It means we stop dreaming about a future that we're not promised for the reality of the abundance we already have if we're willing to recognize it. My self-saboteur, I realized this morning, can be a source of wisdom and growth for me. If I keep pushing her down, or allowing myself to be sucked into her feelings of despair, and I do give up on my dreams, well, I can want the moon for myself, but I won't get it until I'm grateful for every part of my life, even the parts that are painful. It's Buddhist teacher Tara Brach who said, "Radical acceptance is the willingness to experience ourselves and our lives as it is." Radical acceptance is the willingness to experience ourselves and our lives as it is. You know what, right now, I'm not rich. I'm not famous. I'm not traveling the world enlightening people with my wisdom. I'm not enjoying the royalties of a New York Times bestseller. Thinking that I should be those things takes away any chance for me to experience the immense joy that life offers to me right now, along with the chance to be grateful for everything I have in this moment. And my self-saboteur, well, it continues to argue that that's not enough. But you know what? Here is the thing. Nothing, not anything I ever gain or get in this life will ever be enough for that part of me. All the fame and fortune in the world won't satisfy it. So by seeing its pattern, I can learn that lesson. And I realize that everything that's here right now, well, it's enough. In many ways, it's more than enough, and I can be profoundly grateful for all of it. I don't need to be rich and famous. I don't need to travel the world and enlighten people with my wisdom. I'm not even sure that's what I want, right now or in the future. All I know is, in this moment, I am already living beyond my wildest dreams. What could I allow to come into my experience next if I'm simply grateful for everything in my life right now? I don't know. But boy, it sure is exciting. It's exciting to imagine. Hey, do you remember that time when I gave up remembering that time? This is your turn now. So what about you? What is it in this present moment that you have to be grateful for? What is the present moment offering you that you believe is not enough? I invite you to recognize all that life has given to you right now. And even if this is a painful moment for you, I believe you can ease that pain a bit by simply accepting what is and not resisting the pain. Allow the pain, welcome the pain, say you're welcome in my body. Because once you allow it and you see it and you love it, you can heal it and release it. And in that next moment, perhaps you can find ways to ease that pain. We all have doubts. We all have doubts about ourselves. We all have self-sabotaging habits. But how would it change the way you live if you simply experience your life as it is, radically accepting it without resistance? Because I'm willing to bet that in any moment, you can find something to be radically grateful for. And from that place, you can find real spiritual nourishment that never brings on a spiritual sugar crash. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. I appreciate you spending a few moments of your Tuesday with me. Maybe I need some coffee or something now. I don't know. But thank you so much for joining me for this Motley Mystic Moment, after Monday moment. And if you want more, you can find me at motleymystic.substack.com, motleymystic.substack.com, or at jubileecircle.com. We live stream every Sunday morning at 11 o'clock here on YouTube and on the Facebook. So go to Jubilee Circle and you can sign up for that. You can get on the mailing list in either place, motleymystic.substack.com or jubileecircle.com. And have a lovely